Hello everyone, and welcome back to Atheism Exposed. Now, I realise I've been gone from the YouTubes for a long old while. I've actually been abroad and I've been away from reliable internet access for quite some time. But now I'm back, and I've had time to take stock of what's been going on the old scene here on YouTube, and there's something that's immediately come to my attention. If you can read the video title, you probably know what this video is going to be about. But having seen the way things are at the moment, I thought it best to produce a little PSA on the subject. Now, when I stopped producing videos a few years back, the full wrath of the atheist hive mind on this platform was being brought to bear against anyone critical of Darwinism or Copernicanism, really. My thoughts on these issues have been explored in previous issues on this channel, so I shan't rehash them here, but you can go back and look at my old videos if you want to see my views on that. But looking over the scene today, I can see that things have moved on a bit. The current obsession for atheists today seems to be the flat earth. Seriously? Does this rubbish even warrant this much attention? The answer, of course, is no, it doesn't. It's not supported by scripture, nor is it supported by simple observation. It's an utterly trivial thing to debunk. So that leads to the inevitable follow-up question. Why are there so many people producing terrible videos with alleged proofs of the flat earth, when this associated mob of detractors piling totally unnecessary scorn on them? The idea is so ludicrous that it shouldn't require an organised effort to debunk. And, well, this leads on to what I really wanted to address today. Having watched more than my share of these debunking videos recently, I noticed something. When refutations were presented to the points raised by flat earth proponents, the opposing model was ultimately referred to as the globe earth or the heliocentric model. Now did you notice what happened there? That's a very, very insidious conflation. Do you see what's being perpetrated? Find yourself a complete simpleton presenting absolute nonsense about gravity or star trails or the horizon. Point out the bleeding obvious that they're talking absolute rubbish, then conclude the Copernican model was right all along. A simple example of this would be star trails of circumpolar stars. Now, your atheist would agree with me that we can observe the movement of different sets of circumpolar stars in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. And if you look at the pole stars, so Polaris in the northern hemisphere and Sigma Octantis in the southern hemisphere, those will appear on or around the equator. If you're on or around the equator, they will appear on the horizon. That's trivially simple thing to observe. Now, a flat Earth proponent has to have absolutely no reasonable grounds to object to this at all. However, with absolutely no further evidence presented, your atheist exemplar here will then go on to conclude that the Copernican heliocentric model must be correct. Put bluntly, the atheist here is guilty of affirming the consequent. Now, this is quite a silly logical fallacy, but it goes something like this. If the Earth were a sphere and rotating on its axis, we would observe star trails of circumpolar stars, and different stars would be visible in each hemisphere. We observe star trails of circumpolar stars and different stars in each hemisphere, therefore the Copernican model is correct. See what was done there? It's a very cheap trick. Create yourself a straw man and proceed to demolish said straw man. Then conclude that your preferred conclusion, while ignoring the Neo-Tychonian model and everything else that goes along with it. But consider this. If it is a straw man is something the guilty party constructs for themselves before proceeding to demolish it. Now, do you not agree that it is at least possible that this sudden wave of flat earthers producing videos on YouTube might just be a creation of the people who stand to gain from ripping them apart with their own channels? It's not as crazy an idea as you might think. I mean, I've seen the accusations several times from certain members of the atheist community claiming that certain members of the flat earth community are faking it, essentially, for money and attention. Now, I would agree that certain members of this community are faking it, but I think there's a slightly more insidious method behind this. Personally, I would be of the opinion that this is a targeted attack on Bible-believing Christians. They are attempting to associate anybody who believes in sort of scripture or biblical models of reality by associating them with the demonstrably untrue nonsense of the flat Earth. And it seems to be working ultimately. I mean, I was talking to someone at my church the other week, and we both seem to be on board on the same page when it comes to our criticisms of Darwinism. We both agree that there must be some controlling intelligence that is behind kind of the creation of life and all of the nature we see today. But then I opened up a little bit, and I confirmed to her that I believe in the sort of the scriptural basis and the scientific basis of the geocentric model, of the new Tychonian model, and her response was not favourable. Let's put it that way. Her response essentially amounted to, "Oh, do you believe in the flat Earth as well?" And this is the level to which we've been associated. So this is what we need to fight against. It's a charade, and it needs to end. Now, I don't have the power or the influence to do this myself. All I can do is put it out there. We need to fight against this. Anyway, that's really all I have to say for today. So all that remains to be said is stay safe and God bless. Until next time.